downlink. Got it. Cool. I think we're live.
Oh yeah, I can see you. Well, the screen.
Cool. There we go. Now I've got an echo. Cool. I think we're live.
Oh yeah, I can see you. Well,
All right, let me see if I can figure out this echo here. Now I've got an echo. There we go. Cool. So I'm not necessarily going to be able to answer any questions on YouTube, but I'll try. Let me get the link out here too. Copy the URL. All right.
how's the weather over there in Houston?
Man, I was sitting down in the backyard this morning. It was nice. Now in the afternoon, it's going to be hot and humid.
Hot and humid, just like over here.
Yeah, it's going to be a little warm today. We're going to get up to the 80s. Humidity will be about 90%.
Yeah, but remember, humidity is relative.
Yeah. No,
Well, I was sitting there thinking, why do I waste my time trading in the morning when I can go out and trade in the afternoon when it's hot outside and can't do anything anyway?
there you go. All right, I'm going to get this link up on our Facebook page here momentarily. Then I can resume what we're doing here.
Yeah, even my fiance last night, I was talking to her about it, telling her what's going on. She said, basics. You know, because I was like, yep, fundamentals. It's like, dang, I don't remember how to draw a box or a price line.
Too many brain cells trying to function at the same time. I'm synaptic failure. There we go. Okay, cool.
So we have Ford today as well.
Yes, here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some options today. I'm gonna leave the MES alone until I paper traded some more.
Why is this thing on my screen?
Seems like y'all are always messing with Ford. Is it that active?
It's
no,
just,
it's
it's just,
go ahead, Jeremy.
It's just easy.
Yeah.
It's really easy options to trade on that one, and it just has really good predictability as far as like price action goes. You can really find good setups on it, and when you do, you can just scalp in and out of the options at the money for like dirt cheap, and you can make some quick little. A couple weeks ago, I had a really nice setup where it's a descending wedge breakout, and rolled 100% return in like 6 minutes, just trading at the money options that expired that Friday. So when you get a good setup on Ford, you can scalp it readily, and it's really easy to see. Like yesterday, we had this down channel here, and we had a little breakout. Didn't quite get past the well, I mean, it got to like the 66%, close to 70% of the previous move. So it was an okay trade. Made about 20% on that one, but there's sometimes where you get a descending wedge break, and you'll get price that just breaks out above the peak previous high, and you can really take advantage of the way the options chain moves on that one. So looking at the same situation this morning, hoping we get a little momentum down towards that $13 mark so we can bounce out of that. See if it goes right.
Yeah, it's a good beginner's option.
Yeah, I just noticed y'all had it on there all the time. So
yeah, I've just been kind of keeping it.
And it's not a penny stock, but I think it's in the range of a penny stock.
Yeah, it's a large cap, but it trades like a penny stock, and it's like
Yeah,
dirt cheap. So if you also wanted to, if you weren't quite comfortable trading options, it's something where the share price is small enough where you could scalp just the shares if you wanted. So it's one of those easy button stocks to trade. Usually has pretty reliable price action setups, and it's just, it kind of makes sense to keep it on the radar, so to speak. And then SPY, I was kind of teaching people the same thing on SPY, but doing like out of the money options trades, and that sweet spot between like 38 and 42 cents somewhere in the options chain with, 2 to 5 days to expiration. um you make like a $5 move or something like that, and you'll have some serious returns on those. So it's just a matter of, if you see a good setup, you can scalp options either way. But the other thing that keeps SPY on the grid is that it's also kind of like the canary in a coal mine. It gives you a general market sentiment, the same as watching IWM for keeping track of your penny stocks. So it helps to be able to trade that too if you want, or you can use it as kind of a peripheral to keep an eye on what the general market's doing, so that you can go in and take better advantage of penny stock, because if they're kind of trending with the market, you'll see it, you'll recognize it, and you'll be like, okay, wait, I can expect a pullback here, or anything in that line. So it becomes useful.
Yep.
So anyway, this AGRI, we're pulling back. I got a few levels marked out. Peak levels up here at 345. Let's see here. Get into a 2-hour chart. There we go. So we've got this gap fill here, and that's kind of where we're heading. I think we will probably achieve that after the open here. Look a little further left. This is all part of a descending trend, and what we're seeing is going to be kind of a twofold situation. They're breaking out on news. This isn't going to be a short squeeze. That's already covered. Most of the shorts are out of this. So this can actually turn into a bullish trend if it can confirm that the trend's going to hold up. So you just want to watch and make sure it's going to hold that 2-hour 20 period and just continue curling over. So that can turn into a multi-day day trade setup, and then also can be a swing trade. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And then MULN here, I'm just kind of watching. I think we're going to come down to about $1.04 today. Yes, they got some mixed news lately. Looking at the trend, it's not so great. Eventually, I think we're going to get a reversal out of this, but we also already have a rising channel that broke down. So that was in the alert channel for yesterday as a potential breakout, but now we've failed that because the rising channel broke, and that's typically that 3-wave count that we see. It's right there. In fact, let me throw some lines on that, because that's probably one of my favorite setups to trade anyway, whether it's day trading or swing trading.
Which one is that again?
Channels.
I know you're the channel.
So like you'll see it's got a pretty steady wave count, and when it breaks the angular support on a rising channel, they almost always come back down and retrace about the 50% level of that channel. So we could see it go down as low as $1. I want to start looking for a reversal at about $1.04 because it was the previous day's control bar. So we'll see what happens. And
Dude, channels and trend line breakovers are you're going to be your money maker in the futures.
oh, absolutely. That's the thing that's
Appreciate
paid me
that
the
info.
most in the futures. Is these channels are just, they're classic. They'll either have a wave count of 3, 5, or 7, and they're almost always reliable. So I've seen
Starting to see that more.
I've seen some that fail and just continue doing what they're doing, but for the most part, they're pretty reliable. All right. So anyway, we do have that break, and look at this, right before the market opens, it's still coming down. So the other thing that I'm viewing this for, it's not just for a penny stock day trade or swing trade for that matter. I'm looking at that thing for a wheel trade opportunity, because it does have quite a bit of options liquidity in it too. So it'll give you an opportunity to sell both sides of price action. So you sell like $1 cash covered puts expiring in a week or two or whatever, and then you can go in and flip that, get assigned, or buy 100 shares and sell covered calls against it. So whatever you'd like to do, it's all at your fingertips for this one. So I think a while back I made that video for explaining the wheel trade strategy. If you guys want to look on our channel, you can go back and look at the wheel trade strategy explained. And I essentially used a sub-dollar stock to like have a zero cost basis in about 3 weeks, just selling the options on it. So it's a pretty impressive way to do it, at least to learn it on a penny stock, so that you can kind of get the idea of how the wheel trade strategy works, and then it'll really pay you in experience, one way or another. Later on, when you are, running through a bigger account, you can use the same strategy on some large caps and literally turn your investment positions into an income source. So that's kind of a bonus there as well. So something to check out. But anyway, this is our first time live streaming our penny room on the YouTube channel, and we're all famous now, guys.
More than YouTube.
And essentially, we're gonna start doing that a little bit, just to kind of get out there and show people what we do. So this is us in a nutshell, whether you want to give us a try or not.
Ford had that, Ford SPY and the MES had that really nice sell off yesterday morning, and till about why is my time not heading up right there?
It's like
Dang it.
10:55, 11.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? It was like that classic V, boom, V bottom.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that a V bottom? Is that what that is?
Well, I marked it out pretty clear yesterday, and
Oh yeah, you did.
this one was a descending range expansion, and those are very similar to descending channels, and the move usually comes up right into the Fibonacci retracement level, so they're pretty easy to trade. I ended up focusing on futures with that move and did pretty well. I got a few nice returns that I posted in the penny chat here with that, but this is a penny stock room. I'm not supposed to be trading futures, but whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
If it's price action and it moves, we scalp it. Why the hell not?
Just remember to use your fundamentals.
That's right. Yes. Use those
I
fundamentals.
was so kicking myself in the butt. Like when I sat back and I looked at the whole chart, I went, damn it. I was like, I couldn't see the forest for the trees.
It's rough. And that's the thing. The futures, they're the same price action, but they move a little differently. It's like the candles are much more squirrely. They're like vibrating.
Yeah.
Do you use point counting when you're trading the futures like on the ES?
No, I'm more or less just using the candles, using the price action.
As you know, Rose uses point counting to figure out where they're gonna take profit and reverse a little bit.
Right. And that's where my lack of futures experience shines right there, because I don't do that. I just trade the price action on it. So like I'll go and scalp one minute candle and be in and out before 15 seconds has passed sometimes.
And that point counting only works on the ES or the MES.
Okay. I'll get to that point. But for now, it's an experience just basically transitioning everything we know in learning penny stock price action into trading anything that moves, including futures and large caps and the whole nine. So that's the point where we not necessarily graduate people, but like we give people the idea of what's possible once you've mastered this. So like when you can trade penny stocks profitably, consistently, you can trade anything. And that's where it really comes together, where you're looking at this price action that takes place in volatile penny stocks, and then you put it to use trading futures, trading large caps, trading options, whatever you go into. This is a great place to start. And this will give you that experience of trading just the price action, trading just the chart, and knowing where you can anticipate different moves.
Yeah, once I noticed y'all used price action in here, just like they were doing in the futures, I thought this was a better place to be because it's going to cost you less to start out with.
Right. And that's the thing. Your learning is going to be a little more affordable. So yeah,
What, penny stocks? Yeah.
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah,
you can-
well, you can just trade a share or two, or you can trade 100 shares or something, and it doesn't cost you a lot.
right.
But but
yeah, you can still
but
neutralize a small account
what crap out
relatively
of penny
quickly.
stock. Yeah, go look at the penny stock charts.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't want to trade those big, huge moves, but I like the fact that I can wheel trade into something and end up with a free put or free call or whatever.
So
Right.
that's good stuff. Yeah, the price action is key.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to scan the market one more time before the bell here and see if we
But
can
I'm
find
singing to the choir. I'm gonna go grab another cup of coffee. I'll catch y'all in a minute.
right on. Let's see if we can find anything else that's moving. I was looking at one the other day, and this has already had one short squeeze, but now it's going for a second one. Let's see, the ticker is PIK, sub-dollar stock. And that sucker just went parabolic for no reason. We came in and traded this squeeze here. That was pretty epic. It's an easy trade to line up. Now it's starting to get a little bit more into a setup for a breakout. I wonder if that's got news. That might have news. Ah, earnings call transcript. Wow, they had an earnings miss and it's breaking out. That's freaking crazy. I had to look into this a little bit more. $6 price target. Come on now. Not quite yet. I mean, anything's possible, but I think I might keep that on the grid today. Yeah, there's some good volume in that move. Let's let this pull back and see if it gives us a good setup into the opening. This rising range expansion says it's got to come down, but
Ford just popped.
really, I didn't have the chart scrolled over. Oh yeah, right off that 1330. The known zone.
And the MES is in a demand zone,
Yes, it is.
one that I had drawn out after.
Yes, it is.
I went back and I looked at the pre-market, so I didn't see the regular, and I had my screen set, so I didn't see the regular rest of the day. And I started, back to basics. Let me just draw out my zones, and I drew them out, and then I went and looked where price went, and I was so mad at myself. Fundamentals.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll kick yourself a little bit, and that's okay.
It's a lot to learn, and y'all know that. It's not. I don't think anything's completely difficult to learn. It's just complex.
Right.
And like
Yes.
once I learn something, I forget everything else I learned before that. And it's like, oh,
As a musician, you should know it's just practice and dedication.
That's
yes,
it.
sir. That's exactly what it is.
Practice,
And
dedication,
and
and
the
don't
more
give
you
up.
do it, the better.
And don't give up.
Hope I'm not too loud, guys. Sorry.
Oh, you good. Okay, so AGRI here found a little support off of the mother bar from the pre-market here. We might actually build into a quick trend at the open here. Got
Yeah,
about
and it looked like it was in the second day of maybe a 3-day move.
Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, we're trending.
Never mind, it looks different there. Oh no, this is the third day.
Yeah, I'm throwing a 15-minute chart up. So we had the breakout
Okay.
here. Looks like late after hours. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. That was after the weekend. So pre-market there. Quick news pop right off a known pivot zone. Go to the 2-hour chart and see if we can mark out some other levels here. Looking at basically just filling this gap and then walking this trend up to the resistance line. So we got a shot at 350 today. Come back down.
Ford pop and drop.
Yeah. Truth be told, I'm holding a few overnight puts on that one.
Yeah, I can believe that. Because they expire today, right?
Friday.
Uh,
So I think today's only Wednesday. Yeah. So anywho's I think AGRI might give us an entry right here. I'm gonna wait for the bell and see if it'll start stacking orders or not, but I think it could. There we go. There's that rising channel break on PIK. Keep an eye on that sucker. That thing's gonna be really swifty at the open here. Look for support right around
Alrighty then.
210. I think is
Good
going to be a
trading.
good support. Yeah, I think we could have a good day today. We could
What do you
actually-
say? I say break a leg in my business. What do you say here?
Don't blow your account up.
Never wish a musician good luck.
And yes, definitely a good point there, John. Get back into paper trading. If you have an issue where you're starting to lose money in your account, dude, there's no reason you can't just switch to paper trading and start learning the easy way, so to speak. Just be mindful that it's weird when you paper trade, you disconnect yourself automatically from money, so there's no emotional attachment, and you literally end up doing what you're supposed to do, trade the chart. So the moment you can make that transition where you can do that in a live account, where you just detach yourself from the money, forget about it, just trade the chart, just trade the price action, that discipline builds really well in paper trading. And when you can really scalp some quick moves in paper trading that you might not have ordinarily taken in your live account because you had a little bit too much worry behind it, that's the scenario. So if you're going to be able to do it in a paper account, treat your live account later on, once you've mastered paper trading, like you would a paper account, but also be very mindful of your risk management. That's all there is to it. So like sometimes you would go all in on something in your paper account and not realize it, and then just think to yourself every time you do that, would I do this in my live account? No. Discipline yourself to make the right moves and just trade the price action. Forget about dealing with the money involved, and it becomes natural. It's just you literally let your lizard brain take over, and just your instincts guide you. It really becomes that easy once you've got enough screen time behind it. Once you've studied price action and learned how to trade, that's the way to do it. Especially futures. If you get into a futures account, open yourself up a Tradeovate account. Very cheap commissions to trade live, but they have an awesome paper trading opportunity. It's live market paper trading and futures, and same. Set your limit to about what you'd be in your account anyway, and make some moves in the paper account. All right, here we go. Pick coming off a hammer. Let's see if we get back to that 20 period. Give us the bounce. Look at Ford just rolling.
Pop up.
Ford is rolling for that $13 target. It might hold here at 13.20 for a minute. Let's see. I'm going to zoom out on that a little bit. And this AGRI broke our support zone, so we've got another base to the left here I'm going to mark out. And I'll get to that question in the chat here in a minute. Only so much I can do. There we go.
Do it all, Jeremy.
Yeah. And John agrees. It's like, yeah, you nailed it with the emotions. That was my problem 100%. And yeah, that's it, dude. Once you can take your emotions out of the trade, dude, it's just like your light bulb comes on. Everything just makes sense to you. And I did write an article in our blog a while back called Relaxed Trading, and read that, because that will set you in the right direction. You'll be able to figure out how to just stay out of the argument and focus on what's important. All right, there's our little bounce on PIK right here after the hammer. We barred through the 20 period, playing with the 8 period now. And we're likely to start forming a pennant here. So let's get angular resistance in mind here. And I think we're going to be somewhere around there where we start to reject. So look at your price target to about 245 on this move here. That'd be a good plan to exit, or exit on momentum. Ideally, if you did get in on this bar, you got in at about 225. Keep your stop right at that 20 period, which probably just got triggered now before I could even say it. Inverted hammer in the 8 period, not a good thing, but there's still some angular support here. So
Morning Star on Ford.
let's see what this evening star does here. And we've got AGRI coming down to its last leg of support here, 280. Watch for a reversal around there. Gives us a nice double bottom. That'd be a good trade. Whew. Man, good thing I'm not trading futures today. I've got too much going on.
That's what I'm saying. It was too much for me yesterday.
It
My
gets
bad.
overwhelming. It gets out of hand real quick, doesn't it?
Yep.
Holy moly. Now, if I can just get IQ to roll down and continue a bearish move, I'll be very happy. Here goes Q coming, or SPY coming down to that 403 again. We were playing with that level yesterday to some success. Hey, check this out. That links right into the pre-market. So market sentiment running down into a descending channel is actually a good thing. So we can get that little bullish bounce out of that. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. Throwing lines on charts in here, guys.
Me too.
So we got a descending channel and we're looking for that three-wave push. So we got 1 and 1. See if it wiggles back and gives us a setup for a breakout trade. Remember, it's always best to trade the break instead of the setup. So this is where we start to watch. And in case you're wondering why I put that center line in, anytime you have a channel like this, draw a center line in it and just watch how magically price reacts to it. So right here, we're hitting that angular resistance here. There we go. Nice hammer right off that angular support on PIK. Back through the 8 period and the 20 period convergence here. If this closes a bar, we're good to go for our price target. If it closes any kind of wick on top, watch for it to come back and test angular support one more time where it might fail. So if you got in this, remember your target's gonna be right up here.
CAGRI.
Eventually this pennant will shake out into either becoming a confirmed pennant with a bullish breakout, and then you can start shooting for that 250 target, maybe even up to $3, $3.50, wherever the levels were above. Got marked out here, and they're way up there, some of them. 340 actually is a good level too. I forgot about the base of the bar here. Come in right here. And let's go 335 respectively. So if it starts to break out of this pennant, we can start chasing out the rest of the pattern setups and see if we can get a break into those levels, and we can trade them at the level. So we just move our stop up with it. There's AGRI, nice reversal. Clean break right through that 8 period. Now we're barring through the 20 period, back to the pivot. We're in the base bar. This sets the range. So make your horizontal line straight across the range. Got a target up here at 320 if we break out. And again, there's another example of a descending channel. It just never fails to amaze me how often we see these things. And simple wave count, 1, 2, third breaks out. Confirmed. Look for a 50% move. So we got first target right here at about 304. And 305.
Man, SPY just going sideways.
Yeah, it's kind of shaking. It wicked right to that middle line, remember?
Yep. Yep.
Now we're
Yeah,
rolling over.
It was in a descending megaphone pattern from the pre-market.
Yes, sir. And then we've got range expansion on the forward here. This is interesting too.
Yeah, I'm watching that too. It's right at that angular resistance or support.
Yeah, it just wicked
And
off.
that morning star at 932, that hammer.
That just wicked off the angular resistance there. So
Yeah, see that.
let's set the stage up here.
Ooh, looks looks like it might be flushing now. IWM's going down. We got a morning
Woo.
star on.
Yep. There's your
UBXY.
angular support break and pivot break on SPY. That 403 is gone.
Yeah, VIX is going up too. Here comes the flush. Jiminy crickets. If you were in MES, you'd make some money.
Yep.
I'm in it. I'm
So-
loving it.
check-
Good for you.
Good job, man. Check out this gap here on the 15-minute chart. You can get a target all the way down here to $400 on SPY, which would be 4,000 on this futures chart there. Well, 4,005 respectively.
Got my 6 points, boys. I'm done for the
Good
day.
for you,
Sweet, man. Good job.
Bruce. I'm gonna take that model soon. So I like that. I like that idea.
There you go. 6 points and done. Don't be
Get the
greedy.
hell out of there.
Until you find a day where you get 6 points over and over and over again. That's what's great about futures, that instant settlement, man. Makes life good. All right, so AGRI nailed our target, wicked right to it. Bam, there's your take profit signal. Watch for the next setup. It may come down, test the 8 period and confirm a trend. So we could go bullish again on this thing. I would rather take profit incrementally on the trend at the pause candles than continue with the risk. Another strategy some people do is they'll scale in and then scale out here. I'd rather just take the money and run, because even if it breaks out, I can jump right back in. It's not a big deal. Now we're coming back through that 8 period. See, that's more than a pullback. Watch for a retracement bar. It might come up to about half of that bar. And if it does, it'll possibly get back into a bullish trend. If not, that's rejection, and this will come down, break angular support, break the lower pivot, and be done for the day. PIK, look at that, dude. You saw me draw that line, right? Look at price, right to it. Oh, bam. Now we're testing the 8 period. We might break out here. This is the third wrap on resistance here. So let's see if we go through it and break out. And then we can start setting our targets up here, probably at each 25-cent level above if we wanted to. In fact, we can look left and see if there's any 15-minute control zones. Yeah, those are too choppy. How about 1 hour? There's a couple of control zones you can see in there on a 1 hour chart. So you got a bar back here, 295. That's this guy here. And its base is at 258. So known levels are easy to see. Just looking left. Come back in. We've got a breakout. Cool. And look at this. We got a bar right to that 50% retracement or thereabout. That's where the 8 period is as well. If this closes a spinner, this will come down and test this angular support one more time, and it may fail there. But if it breaks and holds a bar through this convergence between the 8 period and the 20 period at this pivot level, this will remain bullish. This is your make it or break it candle here. If you got that song stuck in your head, go on, take the money and run. There's a reason for that. Your brain's trying to tell you something.
Just don't hear the Elvis singing "Caught in the Trap."
Yeah, yeah.
Ford hammering on that spot again.
Gotta love Ford, man.
But it's funny. It's not following SPY at all, like right now, like it usually does.
No, it's ironic. It's just that range expansion following right through.
Yeah, it might go to 13 today, huh?
I think it's got a shot at 13. It's got to get through this key level at 1320 though. Why do I not have a marker there? Shame. Always draw your level bars, man. Those pivot
Yeah, it's
zones
right
are
at the bottom of the standard deviation line.
very important. And we've got SPY coming down through that 402 level too. So this gap is still very valid. Target's pretty plain to see. Looking at 400.
Good morning, you guys.
Morning, Rock. How's it going?
Hey, good. What are you guys playing?
We're doing pretty much everything.
All right.
I'm staying out of the minis today. Unfortunately, I should have been in the minis because this SPY break was clean. But
Yeah, it is.
We got a couple pennies moving around. We got Ford we're scalping, and also I'm live on YouTube for the first time ever,
Nice.
so we're running that too. Kind of getting ourselves out there. So if you like what you guys see, give us a trial, and be sure and smash the like button and all that stuff. All the other typical YouTubers say.
Yeah,
this
we
is
can learn more here.
this is what we do every day. Absolutely.
I have AMC on a bullish 5-minute setup. However, I'm believing that the market's probably going to drag it down. Algorithms are actually buying with it currently, but we'll see what happens. They're kind of weird setup. Little
Nice.
brokenness here today. We got 10 declining, 1 advancing on the sectors.
Yeah, it's a bloody day. We got a pause in this descending trend on SPY right here though. So let's see if it gets an 8-period rejection and continues to roll down that trend. All right, PIK target met 250. We're pushing on.
Ford going sideways.
That is a nice clean structure right there. Look at that, man. You couldn't ask for more. And there goes AGRI. Nice shakeout. So we had an interesting thing here. So we had rejection off that 8-period, 20-period convergence, barred down. It found support somewhere. What's going on here? There's angular support there. I missed drawing a line.
Fundamentals.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm over here running a 4 grid and I got stuff on the side and this and that. And it's like I can only do so much. But we knew the setup was coming.
I don't know how you guys keep track of so many things at once. Me just watching the ES is trouble enough.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me yesterday. I was trying to do too much at once.
And then I'm simultaneously trading. I mean, this is,
Yeah.
pandemonium over here. I don't know. It's said that men can't multitask, but I beg to differ.
You're a mechanic.
That's true. I can see many moving parts and watch it.
Uh-huh.
Know what it's doing. Know what it's going to do. Know why it's doing it. My lizard brain's already been trained. Sorry, traded.
Well, I had a little time by myself, so I have been doing nothing but studying.
There you go.
I have little breaks where I have to let my mind relax.
Dude, that target on PIK, that 258.
Ford's got a double bottom on a 15-minute on 2 days. Look at the 15-minute.
Freaking nailed this. Dude, look at the wick right to 262. That's the extension coming up on this candle, but that price action right to 258. How easy was that to find, guys? All I had to do was look left. All right, so
10:45 yesterday, Ford hammered in that zone that it just hammered in a few minutes ago. All right, it was the opening 15 minutes. Looks like a double bottom.
we might get a pattern shift here out of that. Actually, it's a very choppy double bottom. It's right there. Good eye. And if we put that on the 3-minute chart, that's still choppy as hell. It's like morning star, evening star, morning star, evening star.
Yeah, it's choppy.
There's your bar though, right to angular resistance.
Right. Yeah,
Bam.
I'm seeing it's on the 15-minute opening range. It's in the middle. It just went through.
The student has
The center
become
line.
the master.
The cool thing about TOS is I just use the channel tool and it draws it for me, gives me a center line and everything.
Nice. Here I am over here doing it like, the hard way.
You reminded me that I should be using this. So you just didn't say it. You just said, don't forget to draw the middle line.
Yep.
Center line. Don't forget the center line. And you were so right.
There's always a center line. So speaking of which, let me look at SPY again, because this is weird. We're coming back up to angular resistance. It looks like we're breaking through that 8-period. We got a couple bars above. I almost think it's going to reject the 20-period here just by what I'm seeing, but I could be wrong. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Aha, spinner off the pivot. Okay. If that closes a bar equal to the previous bar here, we get a tweezer bottom, then we can push back through that angular resistance and could bounce a little. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay, this PIK was a nice setup, man. I like that one. That kind of caught me off guard, but I was able to pick it up in time. And here we go with AGRI coming up against that resistance from that retracement level. This 305 area, I think, is going to be a wall. Let's see here. The Bollinger Bands are opening up just enough to accept a move. Keep an eye on that one. We're going to test the 8 period one more time, maybe the 20 period one more time.
What's with the sideways thing today?
Yeah.
Apple's accepting that rollover too.
Say that again, Rock?
I said Apple's rolling over like a lab right now too.
Nice. There we go. Target was met on PIK. If
It's a bloody day.
it fails this 20 period, it's done. We had a nice trade out of that. That was pretty simple. All right, so where are we at now? Ford coming back down in this range expansion here. 1, 2, 3, and we're coming off the bottom here. This is interesting because this is starting to look like a diamond pattern, isn't it?
Where? Let me see.
On Ford.
It's diamond.
So they usually signify a bigger move coming. However, they don't have a direction until they get a break. There's two things that'll happen on these. One, you'll get a pop and then a reversal. So like
Oh,
it'll be a real interesting thing, because usually what'll happen is if you get a bearish pop, it'll come down, test the pivot below, which is going to be at the base of whatever wicked out of it, which is right there, 1320, and then bounce really hard back up and then come into a bullish trend. Other times they'll come up and they'll pop out of angular resistance, nail another pivot, and slam back down. So this is where one of those algo charts or dark pool charts becomes useful. Let's see what Rock has over here in the chat. Aha. So we're getting some divergence, and I wonder what the there's a little divergence there. So let me look at the order flow on that for a minute. I might be able to catch a move here. So we had a ton of outflow at the open. Bunch of retail buying it back. And now there's a few block trades coming through buying back. So keep a close eye on what happens next. This can easily go into a rising channel and then a break to the bearish side. The old pop and drop out of a bear flag.
Can you strangle Ford?
You can, but it's
Tell me why or why not.
it's
Your opinion.
you're going to be at the money, and the problem is that the delta between the two strikes, both put and call, are going to be tight with each other. So like it'll lose at the same rate it wins. So like you won't, unless you're catching into a bigger move and you can sacrifice the loser in time, your skew is not going to be there. So you're not going to have much of a cash cushion to speak of as far as being able to close the loser before it drains your position. Unlike SPY, you can usually get a little bit of price action to wiggle into that with enough cash cushion between the strikes that you can sacrifice the loser without any drawdown. But with Ford, you're going to be at the money. So you're not going to have that opportunity. You can if you get a big enough amount of volatility in it where it's swinging wildly, like whole dollar moves. That you can do, but ideally you'd rather not strangle Ford into a day trade position.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that explanation, Professor.
No problem, man. That's what I do. All right, rising channel here on AGRI. 3 strikes, you're out. I think it's going to come down through.
I see Lucian in the penny stock room.
It might be creeping along. Yeah, there he is. Hey, Lucian.
He says he's not listening though.
Yeah. He can say hi anytime, man.
I don't believe it. Hey, Lucian.
So we got a little bit of bear flag action on SPY here, and Ford's teetering on this angular support zone here. Let me skew that down a little bit, by the way. Ding, there we go. Pretend I didn't do that.
Ford is just hugging the center line of that opening 15-minute range.
Mhm. We get 2 1-minute candles. Will tell us which direction this is going to break.
And you have that block at 1325. Don't forget, Tesla did break up higher to its dark pool at 754.27. So you could get some sympathy.
Sweet. And
I
it was,
interpret that as a possible bullish pop.
briefly, and then it'd be like the old pop and drop, so to speak. So we get some sympathy play. So like if it starts to break out, the automotives will tend to chase it a little bit. Okay, so PIK broke the 20 period, coming back down. Now, sometimes you'll get a rollover that'll look like it's going to be bearish, and it ends up being just a bigger part of a pennant. And what we'll see, we'll look at the wave count to the left here, okay? We've got, it's a little hard to see because there's a big gap here, but you can see this is just another rising channel. So if I draw my angular support line from here on a 5-minute chart, and I'm going to make this a little bit more vivid so we can see it here. And just like any rising channel, they tend to break bearish, and then they find support typically at about the 50% level. So I'm going to draw a pivot right at that 50% level. Happens to be about 220-ish. Don't have to be exact, just have to know where the level is. And we'll watch. If we get a breakdown of this angular support, this pennant is no good. It becomes a failed pennant. So like you'll see it as a bullish pennant, but it's not. So once we break down, if we find support at the 50% retracement level of the whole move, and we start to see a reversal pattern and we start to see a continuation pattern, we might get one more trade out of this. So we'll keep it on the grid and keep an eye on it. In the meantime, I'm going to be flipping through the movers for volume and see if we can find anything else that's setting up. AGRI kind of a similar deal, only this is, we got a descending channel break. We traded that. It was pretty easy. Now we've got a rising channel that's likely to break bearish. So that might be done for the day. Here goes Ford out of the bottom of that diamond pattern. Ba-boom. Very nice. And SPY following suit. Came up, wick to the 20 period with a spinner right across the 8 period. I love
And
that.
if you watch the VIX and UVXY, they're going bullish.
Sweet. What's great about cutting your teeth on day trading options and stuff is you can trade both sides of the market. You can trade in both directions. And that's kind of what we hint at
Yes.
when we start learning this price action in penny stocks. That's the only reason Ford's on the grid, is because you can scalp the options with very similar risk to trading a penny stock. Let's see here. I'm going to look at the algos that, oh, those are the ones I already saw. Sorry. I got 3 monitors and too much information. So I'm kind of like squirrel, looking like the dog from Up.
Yep.
I went to go get the grandbaby to wake up and looked like somebody flushed the toilet while I was gone.
Oh no. It's all swirling. And the mini looks like we're going to find that support right at 4,000, like I was saying earlier. That gap is right there, dude.
Yeah, we finally broke that 401.68 on SPY with a descending triangle. All sectors are declining.
Noise. These gaps aren't just coincidental, guys. That's your price targets. All you do is draw the pivot line. It's right there.
Oh, where the gap was?
Yeah. And that gap was just plain as day, standing right out, shining like the sun. And sometimes they don't work out, but for the most part, they end up retracing. Just a given. If you haven't seen my SPY chart before, if you guys haven't been with us on the live streams that we do here, if you're just checking us out on YouTube, you'll know what my SPY chart looks like. It's a gall darn mess, but every one of those lines has meaning, and they're all just price action pivots, and that's what we trade. We scalp the price action. So it just looks like an absolute mess of a chart, but when you see what's there and you know what's there, like you get these descending channels, everything all comes into play and it all repeats. It's so easy to see.
Yep. Where is that gap you found?
Look at the 5-minute chart and then look at yesterday's pre-market. It's right there at let's see here on the 5-minute chart. It's right May 16th, 8 o'clock. There we go. Look at this. Angular support found. I'll be down. Watch PIK here because this is kind of a thing that's a market maker favorite. They'll go and they'll pop this up a little bit and then they'll just crush it right through that angular support. If you watch the order flow, you'll see it happen. You'll see the orders stack up. And here we got AGRI still kind of creeping around in that channel. This is looking like it might turn into a 5 wave. So we could actually get continuation out of that. I'll keep that on the grid. Forward wick straight to that 1320, dude. It's methodical, guys. I know sometimes it seems like I make it look easy, but realistically, it is easy. Just trade the chart. All right, give me a quick minute. I'm going to look around and see what I can find. BBIG is doing. Let's see. Let me throw BBIG here because I think PIK is going to fail this angular support line. And I'll throw it up over SPY for a minute. We can come back to SPY always. Choppy break. BBIG's got an extension right to 325. Looks like it might give us a pullback candle to test a support line on the 8 period. Maybe and give us a quick scalp, like 1 or 2 candles worth. But this is also just another rising channel, so be aware that these tend to break bearish. And we're just outside the angular resistance too, so yeah, it might give us that push, 1320 or 320. Sorry. And it comes forward right off of that angular resistance line again. It's just amazing how easy it is to throw these lines out and know where the price is going to be and just setting up your targets. This bounce off of 1320, pretty easy. I mean, it's a 5-cent move, but it's easy. There's 320 on BBIG.
You're Bollinger Bands and you're fast stochastic.
That's it. And then I was going to mention something about FSTO, and I'll get to that in a minute. Let's see, 325 is the upper range on BBIG here. It might extend to it, but I don't expect a full bar through it. I expect a wick, if anything. And it could give us a pullback signal. Dare I say that it could flag out here between these this range at $3.25 to $3.
Yeah, Tesla's breaking a new high. AMC is really holding structure. So just if anybody's trading.
I might throw AMC on the grid here in a minute.
On the moon, that's why.
Yeah, it's actually my setup. I don't like the market conditions for it because we have all sectors declining. But other than that, it's flaggy as F.
We like Froggy. There's that break right there, that angular resistance or angular support on PIK. How easy was that to predict? So we might see support down here at this 220 level. Might be able to get another trade out of that, but it's not looking so good at the moment. And yeah, 322 is the top of that wick here for BBIG. So we'll come back down. We'll probably test this angular support, and either A, we'll get a pennant here in continuation to 325, or we get a break through this angular support and come back in the channel. I'm thinking the pennant's probably the likely scenario here. So we'll look for like angular resistance right here. Forward straight off that trend line, right off the base of that diamond. Now, here's the thing. It won't quite get to at 1320 in this move. I think it'll sit right here at about 1322. And I'm just going to draw just a short line right here. And actually, let me change the color of that one. So I'm going to make that a red line, because if it breaks this, it can continue down. But look what we have in the bigger scenario is we have the beginning of a channel shift into a descending channel.
SPY might be just doing a little pullback, get ready to go bearish again, huh?
It's threatening to, but hang on a minute, and I'll show you what I'm seeing here with Ford. It's descending channel structure. BBIG is going to sit there and pen it. Let me throw SPY up here for a moment. I usually only like using a 4 grid because 1, it's too busy to do a 6 grid, and 2, the visual sucks for a 6 grid. Like you can't get a good beat on what previous price action looks like. It just, when you put it on the screen, it just doesn't look right. So SPY is also a descending channel, and this is wave 3 in it. So this is where, if this trend breaks, that's where it's going to break right here, this bar. So watch for a resistance push through that pivot, which is 50% of that descending channel, by the way. If we break bullish out of 402, we can come right back up to that previous angular resistance line, which was support a while back. 402.50 is the target on this move. So you can make a quick 50-cent scalp on this if it stays bullish above this 402 pivot. It's just another descending channel break.
Right.
Looks like AMC is going to break 1350.
Sweet. I'm going to throw, gosh, if AGRI wasn't setting up so nice into a trend. All right, I'll throw AMC on the grid here. There goes Ford breaking out anyway, so.
I noticed that SIG uses probability of touch on his options ladder.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just simply looking at the delta.
Yeah.
The 30 and up delta tends to have a higher and higher chance of touching. AMC is also a descending channel break. We're going to see a lot of those today, guys. That's good. Makes our day trading much more easy and almost exciting. Let's see, so
SPY's having
AMC,
trouble getting over that 402.
it might. AMC is at angular resistance, by the way, right here. Let's look at the previous trend, and you'll see where that lines up. Always looking left, guys. I'm always looking at longer time periods to figure out what price action we're seeing. And then also, heck, we could draw a pivot there too, by the way. That's a previous low down here, see? $13.
All right, it's 10:08. So would we say SPY is in a descending trend?
Now we're coming back through this angular support, which was angular resistance on the descending channel break. It's already made that 50% retracement. That's where it's likely to reject. So yeah, we could say we're bearish again. However, there is now a full-on pivot right there at 401. And this can shake into a little double bottom action here. So
Yeah, I'm watching it.
never look a gift bear in the mouth, I guess. All right, so AMC.
Well,
And
if it does something right, I might buy one call or put.
it's worth a scalp if it's worth a
But
scalp, but
I'm gonna
Yeah.
look. I'm looking and waiting.
be skeptical. Wait for
I'm
it.
not gonna do anything anymore until I see my setup.
It's always wise to trade the break instead of the setup. That's for sure.
Right.
And I can't say that enough. You've heard me say it many, many times.
Yeah. Now, there are some things that you front run. I know, the Busby, a lot of times people front run.
Busby is an
That's-
easy thing to do because once you have the candle that follows it, you have your confirmation in that candle. And oftentimes you can just enter in that candle and keep your stop tight or keep your finger hovering over a market order to get out of it.
Yeah.
So you can front run those all you want because usually if it starts to fail, the failure is slow enough where you can get out of the way. But the advance, if it goes in the direction you're trading, the advance is a very quick move and usually pretty predictable. So
Right.
it'll fail slow and advance fast. Let's see, there's BBIG. That pennant's failing, baby. Watch for a pullback to the lower side of this channel, and maybe it'll get one quick push to that 325 target. But let me push the pennant up a little bit.
I haven't seen you use a Fibonacci yet. Do y'all don't use those?
I've got enough noise on my chart where I know where they are anyway. So I don't put them out, but I know where they're going to be. And
I do sometimes.
for me, like the other thing about Fibonacci though, is I round it. So, instead of, I forget the actual number, but I'll go like 33%, 50%, 66%, and then 100%. Wow. I thought that pennant was going to fail. Nope. We got a bar right to 326.
Since the quadrant tools in TOS now, I've been using it a little bit lately. And it seems to be working pretty good. I know that SIG does some customization for these things, modifies them. And like I used the quadrant tool a minute ago to look at this downward movement from the open on SPY. And right now it's hovering on the 0%. So it's hit the levels. So I like those. And I like the Fibonacci too. And I did adjust my Fibonacci where it has that 23.6. I think that's the one that SIG talks about.
Right.
Because I hear that a lot from, I know about that from secondhand listening to Scott talk about the Fib and what SIG does with it.
And it's
He
important
used
levels.
to be a guy that used to be a moderator in here.
Oh, Scott. Yeah. No, he's got a lot going on in his life.
I know.
We'll say he's on hiatus. That seems to be the right word to use. Yeah, we'll go with it. So check this out. We actually got BBIG breaking out. We broke that 325 zone. So we know where the next control candle is. Well, there's one right here at 335. And if we break that, we'll probably trade inside of that bar up to 350. Always looking left to figure out where your targets are. Very, very, very important. All right, SPY. We're down in that channel again. We don't see support on this 401 area, and we don't see it start to shake into a double bottom. We can continue this trend to the bear side. We had this rising channel break on AGRI, came down. There's a 50% retracement. That red line I drew here. I wasn't talking about it, but I drew it. 292. And it wicked right down through it, popped off of it. So either A, you get another descending channel out of this. B, you get a bear flag break. Or C, you get the pullback and continuation in the trend. But let's look at the dominant trend. Pretty bullish. So we can watch for a bullish move and trade with some probability on our side. Be mindful that this channel's got to break first, and this is a shift in the channel right here. And this is likely to be a very short-lived three-wave channel. I already got 2 taps on support. I'll keep that one kind of zoomed in. We might get one more break out of that. There we go, SPY. Push that 8 period, break the 20 period with a bar. Voice failing, sorry. And then we go to 402. AMC just about to touch that angular resistance zone. That could be about spent. And BBIG wicked almost to that 335 target I was telling you about. Let's see if it penetrates one more time off the 8 period for a push. That's pretty.
It's also at the top of the weekly expected move. You look about 4 candles over, and yeah, we're definitely at a spot here on these for sure.
Yeah,
I'm looking for it to hit 14.
it could make the push to 14. There's an extension there. Whoops.
Tesla is starting to make a new high, or at least approaching. It's wave.
So I have a control bar on a 2-hour chart here for AMC. Just to the left, there's that previous descending trend. That control bar puts you right at 1424, right through there.
I think Ford's finding support.
Yeah, let me get back to Ford.
5/16/22, 9 p.m. on a 1-hour chart. It's a big bar. That's right where Ford is right now, at the base of that big bar, which is also incidentally at that little crook in the VWAP that I'm always talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Throw Ford back up here.
There, did I say Ford? I meant to say SPY. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I meant to say SPY.
gotcha. That's descending channel break coming back in. It's looking like it can confirm a double bottom as it breaks through 402.
Yo, what up, Jared? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Test, test.
Hey, man, how's it going? Welcome
I mean, I've been
aboard,
spending-
Captain.
Dude, I'm alive. I was just testing out literally for the half hour. I have about 5,000 cords in my house, and I don't have one that fits my Yeti Blue X.
Oh no.
So I gotta go old school headphone.
All good. It's working,
Voice from the past.
right?
I'm alive, guys. Right?
Holy cow,
alive.
he's alive!
If you only knew. If you only knew what I would love to tell you all, but I can't, and I'll get in trouble. I don't know.
Good to hear you. Good to hear your voice.
I don't want to hijack. I don't want to hijack Jeremy's stream, but I
Oh.
kind of do because not
Gotcha.
hijack it, but like Jeremy's my hero. Love him,
We do too.
You're always welcome here, man. Hijack all you
dude.
want.
You figured it. You figured out YouTube. We got to figure out that stupid Zoom thing. I don't know. Like you got to like turn off that box. I don't know if it's because the cameras on YouTube.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
Yeah, I got to
did
get
the
rid of that
same thing.
stupid thing. I can't get rid of it. It's sort
Yeah, I
of
don't,
stuck there.
there's a way to do it. I don't know how to do it.
Oh, maybe if I minimize it.
Could be either that or maybe it's like turn it off or yeah, forget. There was something I think when we started, but we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, we'll get it. I kind of, at least I was able to tuck it into the top right corner, so it's kind of out of the way.
That's what she said.
Nice.
I like how the M
Uh,
looks like it's getting ready to do an N pattern.
So I'm gonna turn off the lights here for a minute. So check out this little wedge.
Sorry, no, that's a penny stock thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
got this wedge.
Boss, the big cheese, the pit bull is in. We better be careful.
There you go.
No, no.
I keep,
I'm a no, but I don't know what you want to. I don't know what you call me. Big pain in the ass or big cheat. What do you want to call me?
I don't call you any of those things. I call you vanishing. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude. Oh,
Uh,
you don't even
Now,
know how.
listen, you get messages from me. I get so excited about all this. I just love this community. This is awesome. I've learned so freaking much, and there's still so much to learn.
That's good to hear more than you know. Like I said, I don't like to keep my mouth shut, and that's the last thing I ever want to do. But I only there's a lot I'd like to tell you. And Jeremy, tell me to shut up, man.
yeah, you might
Just
want
don't do it on YouTube. You see
I
that?
don't care. Dude, honestly, I don't. I only do it out of respect for these guys at this point.
to ixnay on the I don't know Pig Latin A. No, but I'm looking at a couple of decent setups here. Actually, we got a little wedge pattern on a 2-hour chart for Ford, and we could actually trade this range one more tick through the day, and it should give us a good setup for tomorrow. So we'll kick Ford out tomorrow and see what we get for a quick option scalp. Today it's just been choppy as all hell, so it's not really
Yeah.
an easy trade yet. Mind you, that diamond pattern did turn into a bit of a bear flag here on us, so we could actually get a test down here to that 1320 one more time. If we break it, there's a gap to fill all the way down to 1305. So
It's just ranging though between the base of that 15-minute range and the center line. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
It's like palm. Sorry, showing my age there, Bruce. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep, you just dated yourself. So if you guys like what you see on our YouTube thing, we're going to do this a little more often. We won't do our whole entire thing on YouTube, but we're bits and pieces. Hit the subscribe button. You'll be able to catch an alert for when we're coming out live again, and we'll try and do this more often. We're going to try and share with the world what we do here, and that's the whole point. Is we're a trading community. We pay it forward, and we've got guys in here who literally master this, and it's just simply learning price action. And then they're always all about helping each other out, which is really cool because you don't get that in many communities. And oftentimes you don't get a lot of teaching in many trading communities to begin with. So we're that kind of people. We like to bring this knowledge out and show people how to make a living at this, not just say, hey, follow my trade. So yeah, check us out, subscribe, give us a trial, whatever you want to do. But we're here for you. Bottom line.
You won't find what you get here anywhere else.
Nope.
I don't think
Not
so.
for the price.
Gosh,
And
no.
we're not employees. I'm just saying.
These are the guys who are paying it forward. Those are the voices you're hearing right now. These are guys
guys
that
are
have been members.
You guys are sweethearts. I love that.
Stop it, Brooke.
No, guys, you guys are the sweethearts. Y'all are changing lives.
We're getting mushy.
Out of AMC for half an hour.
Nice. Good work, man. That
Hey,
was
while
some-
you guys are on here, I think my brain is ready to get to the.
Woo.
I'm gonna redo some of the courses. Anything's with the penny stocks. Do you guys have that you want to have added in there, or holes that we're missing? I'm gonna get to that part next, so I'm gonna see if anything hits you guys that I should add, or I know there's a lot of stuff in the next level library put in there, but like, is there any stuff for like the newer or intermediate that hits you guys that I should put in there?
I don't know. I'd have to go look at it because when I was watching those videos and you were teaching, you always ended it with the best way to learn is to be in a live trade room.
Yes.
And then I started coming in a live trade room.
Hey,
I have
hey,
to
it works, huh?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's marketing, but it's also true, right? So
Right.
it's kind of like the whole it's a dual thing, right? Marketing to
Yes.
bring people in, but it's
Yeah.
also true because that's the
Very
way
true.
so to learn. So it's
Our-
it's a dual one.
Our next level library is becoming something of legends, guys. There's been a lot of work in there.
I love the options video that Sig has done. Those are excellent.
Yeah, Sig's a beast.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can't answer your question either, Lucian, because I haven't really looked at any of the penny stuff. I started out in futures and only ended up over here because they're doing price action too.
Yeah, if anybody's listening to this or whatever, they could just shoot a message, shoot me a DM in Discord, or send it when you guys, and you guys can send it over to me too.
Nice. Hey, Rock, there's your extension to 1424 coming up on AMC here. I think it runs out of
It's gonna
gas
put
right there.
them on.
Yeah, that would have been a great trade. I had to lock in because I had a quarter of an hour loss, so I locked in a half an hour win. So technically that's a 3-hour trade. But
Oh yeah.
anyway, because of my rules, I had to go ahead and lock that in for a win for the day. And I got to get going for work here in a minute anyway too.
Oh, good work anyway, man. You're killing it.
It's coming. We'll see.
So what I'm looking at is a possibility, and I don't know if you've ever looked at AMC's book value and their like asset or debt to asset ratio. Good God. It scares me that so many people chase that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Look at this. There's no reason for that. If you ever walked into an AMC, like half their seats are falling apart. It's a terrible company investing, but we love scalping that crap. So,
We go both ways.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But what I'm looking at is that 1424 extension might give us an opportunity to go bearish on this thing and start selling some credit spreads, yo. We do have the old 3 soldier move here on a 15-minute chart, so it could extend beyond that.
The current buy volume, sell volume 3-day is today is 17 million, and the sell side is super low. It's only in the 800,000, 500,000 or whatever on the sell side. So right now it's got momentum, but yeah, at some point.
So it could stack out of that descending channel break, and the next extension's up here at $16. So that's another
Forward's
target.
breaking below the opening 15-minute range.
Let's see here. Whoa, Ford! Hell yeah! Thank you.
But Jeremy, I think you're right. If all sectors still stay, that squeeze or whatever that's going on right now, it definitely a possibility to fade that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the opportunity because I mean, I actually got into selling some credit spreads on that last year, and it was pretty lucrative because I mean the options implied volatility was through the freaking roof, and like I was selling $5 wide spreads for like 490, and just letting them roll off and expire worthless. It was just glorious. And then all of a sudden, they started doing that whole restricting trading on it and everything, and that's when it went gunny bags on me. But hey, I made a nice profit doing that.
It's just one of those weird relative strength things where it's doing what it's doing despite what the market's doing, and being able to notice that. Like right now, this is where I might want to turn around on it. 14,
Right.
14, between 14, 1460. If the market's still kind of going down to sideways, you know what I mean?
And this looks like it could fade right to 1350. So I mean, it's a quick scalp too if you wanted to do some put options, but I wouldn't hold them very long because the implied volatility fade's incredible on AMC. Plus the options are overpriced anyway. BBIG, there's another pennant coming up, so we could shoot for 350 here if we're lucky. That's about the reach of that extension though, so be mindful.
The end pattern on IWM now looks like it might be coming in M pattern, as in man.
I got a bit of a rounding bottom here on SPY. If it holds this trend, it might just reverse here. Just
Yeah,
saying.
it's still at that 0% from that move. It's right at that zero line.
Right.
Well, it was. It wicked into it.
Let's see here. I think I'm going to finally close my Ford puts. Woo! All right. That, as they say, is that. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, I see. Still, all those wicks, it's weakening those moving averages. SPY is.
There's that breakdown on AMC. Look at that. It's going to fade right to 1350, I think. There's
I bought a 12 with a 16th of an R risk on it to fade it back.
nice. Oh, you paid it back though?
To fade it.
Oh, fade it back. Gotcha.
So I'm risking a 16th of an R to see if it
Nice.
fades. I got while I'm going to work.
Good show, old man. Let's see. We got Ryan.
Good show. By Joe.
Ryan with a comment here. Even I have a long way to go, but what I learned from here is great. This community is the best. Awesome, man. Thanks for the props. We love you too. Okay, let's see here. One other thing I was going to look at, and I almost forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. We're kind of done looking at Ford, aren't we? IQ. That Chinese goober that I was hoping to short might break over here. So let's see if it'll fade down here to like 375.
Yep. So far, I haven't seen anything that makes me want to do anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's some little scalps here and a couple pennies we scalped this morning, like AGRI and BBIG here, but
All
Yeah.
right. So one of my weaknesses is scalping.
and that's an art form,
But
and that's
not-
where I say, like, trade the break on the pattern. So like those rising and descending channels, easy scalps.
Except for options. I do better scalping the options than I do anything else.
And that's
Because
going to be
it's not a quick scalp often. It's a little bit, maybe it takes a little longer. Maybe it's not scalping.
well, it is. I mean, you're not going to hold the option to expiration. You have no intention of investing in it. It's a scalp. You're scalping the price action.
So what I see is, what I find for me is that I have discovered that I see the bigger picture and I see the forest better than I see the trees. And so
Right.
I'm working on, or I see sometimes I'll be so focused on the candlestick that I miss where it is in the big picture. And I'll make it a dumb move. But if I sit back and I wait, I see the longer plays like the interday options plays, I see those happening. And so that's where I'm finding my edge, I guess.
No, that's key. I mean, like you're in a zone where you're starting to cut your teeth on options trading, and you can see the bigger move that way too. And it's just a matter of finding the right stock with the right options chain and the right liquidity to do it with. And that's why I keep Ford on the grid so much now, because it's just such an easy one to trade.
I
There
have
goes SPY.
399 on SPY, and I didn't say it.
SPY just broke down. That rounding bottom failed. So
Yeah.
through 401, gonna nail 400. That takes the MES right to 4,000, which I'm not watching right now. I should be. I got too much information on all the different screens, and now that I've got YouTube up too, I've got that occupying one screen, so I can't like put a futures chart up. But
And so just observation, we look like we're breaking down on SPY. It looks like it's going to go bearish a little bit more.
yep,
That trend was downward, and going back to the time thing that Sig has said over it again, that around, the trend should be established, I think, by 10 o'clock.
right.
Around there. And it
Well-
looks like it was, and it was downward, and now it's continuing down.
Look at the 15-minute chart. There's that gap. So like the opening range came right up and tested the base of that control candle in the gap, rejected. That was where the the writing was on the wall. And look, we filled that gap precisely right now. That's where we got a little candle forming where it's going to pause on that trend. That gap is filled. If we break that gap, we look left, we got other levels in control here. We got another gap here, and we just keep getting targets lower and lower and lower. 397 is possible today.
Or it could bounce off that gap.
Right, or it can bounce off that gap as support, and that's like yesterday's closing low, or not yesterday, the other day's closing low, Monday. Or it kind of hovered around 4,000 for a while and kind of streaked between like 397, 398, and played sideways moves in that day. So that was an option 0 day. So I'm always saying like the market makers love trapping range. Same kind of deal. So we're at the bottom of that gap. We filled it. We rejected the top of the gap here, 403.50, down to 4,000 or 450. Little $3 move. Now we just sit and wait for the next setup.
You guys scalp the MES off those pit stops like the 4,005 it just bounced off of?
Yeah, I mean, normally I would. I'm not today, but normally I would be.
No, I'm not watching
It'd
it.
be easy moves.
I have it, but I'm not like paying attention to it or playing it.
AMC fading down, tested that previous angular resistance, is now angular support, but look at this little miniature descending channel. It could actually bounce here and run back to that 1424 target. Be ready for anything here, because there's your angular resistance, and if it breaks here, they'll take a ride to the bull side, so to speak. We got BBIG breaking over finally. Look for a pullback to the 325 zone. That was a good run. And SPY might bounce here around anywhere between 425 and 400 even. It's going to tease that level, I think. It may break it, it may not, but that's the bottom of the gap. So if we're done trading for the day, we're done trading for the day. We can wait till the next setup. IQ here, I think we're making a rising channel break here, so we can scalp a bearish move, but only just. I think it's going to be more of a pullback than a bearish reversal, which saddens me because I enjoy shorting that one. It's not going to be long lived though. Oh my goodness, that'd be cool if we repeat what yesterday did.
With the reversals.
That bar is 50 cents, so like at the money options would make 100% moves.
What are you talking about there?
IQ.
IQ. Oh my goodness, I just noticed it on your chart.
Yeah, it's in there. There's that break on AMC's descending channel. Watch for 50% retracement right to about 1390. And we'll see what it does when it gets there. It'll either continue fading this down to 1350 again, or it will be a pause in the trend and continue on through that 1424 zone. It does have an extension way up there at $16, but I mean it's kind of a FOMO trap, so to speak. So don't go chasing that. All right, IQ, what do we have in your chain that was worth trading here? Puts. We go with a 350 put for 10 cents and see if we can scalp that out for selling it at 20 cents. That expires Friday here, so 2 days. Don't hold it longer than you have to. And we've got to confirm the move too, so. It's nice to be able to trade up in the morning and then down towards the end of my stream and then make money in both directions in the same day. It's always great.
Yes, I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, might just get the opportunity knocking now, sir.
That's why I'm going to pull it up right now.
All right, IQ, give
Now,
us
is
some.
IQ an index?
I don't think it is. I think it's just some Chinese stock. I never even looked at the description of the damn thing, to be honest. I just know that it's always volatile. It's always got some sort of setup in it. So that's the other thing that's great about price action. You don't have to give a damn what it is. Just trade the price action, trade the chart.
Right.
You know, you owe no loyalty to any company out there. If you want to make money as a trader, you can't bring yourself to think that way. You just got to trade the price action, trade the chart, do what it tells you, and you'll be fine. Let's see here. I'm going to look at the description now because I'm curious. Entertainment services, it attracts a massive user base with tremendous user engagement and has developed a diversified monetization model, including membership services. Blah, blah. There we go. Headquartered in Hayden District, China. Listed name for IQ is IQIYI. Whatever. Chinese entertainment company. There's a lot of people in China, so you know, I'm sure it has lots of influence as a company, but I just trade the chart.
Yeah.
So let's see, the 50% down here is about 374. If we get continuation out of this trend, we can go to the extension at 370. And I haven't really traded same week expiration on these. Usually I go a little bit further out than that, but kind of experimenting with that, seeing if we can do the same thing we do with Ford. And BBIG's done. Let's go to Ford.
Its highest probability of touch is $4.
Yeah, I mean it can certainly just be a pullback in this trend, and it can run right up to it.
Still got a plus or minus 54, almost 55 cent.
It's got extensions up there, but also look at this as descending, expanding range. So let me draw a center line on that real quick.
Got good delta though, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'll either
I'm learning.
I'm just drawing some lines here real quick on that one. That is a descending wedge, so yeah, it could break bullish eventually. I just like the fact that it usually has these crawly, choppy trends up and then chops down, like just bars down. So my old adage seems to hold true to that one, the stairs up and window down theory.
Goes up, must come down.
And quickly. So we'll see if we get the same kind of breakover that we had yesterday. And if we don't, cool, we can understand. But yesterday was some great breakdown.
What did SPY hit?
Let's see here.
What was that level?
400.
Oh, was it low? 399. What?
Let's see, 399.93.
Hmm.
But just barely broke that 400 level.
Seems to me. Somebody say
I might have.
picking up from you and Scott now. Well, I said I was saying on a 1 hour chart, it was at that was the base of a candle.
Right.
A few days back.
It's also
On the bar.
got an extension to like 399.20, 399.30, somewhere in there. That was baseline support for an after hours move.
Yeah, but that's 1040 and that's the low.
Right. It could shoot through.
Maybe.
Dang it. This IQ is actually going to go bullish on us. Let's see what the at the money bullish move looks like.
Well, let me see now. Did you hear that? I'm learning now. I put that probability a touch indicator in my options ladder that I learned from SIG,
Right.
and $4 has the highest probability on both sides. 68%.
Let me see what the chain
Everything
says.
else is low, is like in the 20s.
Yeah, call $4 call.
What is that right now? 13 cents.
Yeah. And then I'm also looking over here at the Delta's 37 on that one, and the open interest 5,952 on a call. How about the put? I'm gonna look at the 350 put because that's where I'd like to be anyway.
10 cents.
Open interest 28.50. So yeah.
Probability touch 59.33%. That's the second highest probability. That's 3.5.
Right.
On that put. I'm having fun, but I want to make
I want to make money. Yeah. Turn fun into money.
Well, it's almost like I'm paper trading, but
Yeah.
I'm still learning, so I don't want to do something stupid.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm trying not to forget everything I know about price action.
Amen.
All right, I'm off to work. You guys have a great day.
You too, man.
You're right.
And I'm gonna probably pull us off the YouTube channel in a minute here and then finish the day out. But give me a minute first. I'm gonna take a quick restroom break. I'll be right back.
I got to do the same.
I'm back. And look, that stinking IQ did break out bullish. I guess $4 calls would be the way to go. Let's see. Ford touched that 1310. That rascal 1308 is where the wick ended out. Where's the extension on Ford? Let's see what we get. That's that angular support line that it tested there and it broke it. So we've got extension down here to 1305 still. That's still on the table for today. That is where I think it's likely to bounce though. So we might get the old descending channel breakout eventually. If not right now. This won't be much of a move just yet though, so. Not a great day scalp on that one for options until we can get into a reversal. I didn't make a huge percentage on the return from those puts I held overnight, but it's better than nothing. 20%. I'll live with it.
Okay.
All right, so IQ came right back up, tested that 380. That's the 50% retracement of that previous descending channel. And
It's a Bollinger Pinch coming into a Bollinger Pinch on a 2-minute chart.
that too. And 1 minute shows it as well.
Did you see that Scotomy? Got the 2-minute charts with a Bollinger Band and a 15 right down the middle.
So we can also extend. I mean, we got this bar right here.
$4 probability of touch, 75 cents. This is
Yeah.
like a football game.
So we got 390s at top of that bar from yesterday. So that's where the first extension is going to be if it breaks out of this descending channel's 50% retracement, which it has.
SPY and Ford may be finding their bottom. Just from what I'm seeing, that's a possibility.
Yeah, they're just kind of curling up off that 1310 zone. So
Well, IWM has a familiar looking pattern on my 2-minute chart right now. And if it holds true, that's a bullish pattern. And SPY and IWM seem to run a little bit together every now and then, don't they?
they tend to,
Oh,
just not today. I mean, they tend to have the same sentiment, but they won't have like
sentiment.
they won't have candle for candle action
Right,
typically.
Sentiment. That's what I was looking for. That's what I'm 3 words.
There we go. IQ gonna rush right to that 390. But bam, easy target. Eventually, I was hoping for the descending channel break.
Now, I hope anybody listening is not playing what I'm saying. Don't do that, please. I
No,
don't know if we're still being listened to. Don't do that.
this is
I'm learning and I'm speaking out what I'm learning. So the probability of touch now for $4 is at 84%.
we're not one of those copycat trading groups. We're
No, calling rooms, no.
we're gonna teach you how to fish room. So that's the whole point of our community. All right, so we got Ford breaking that 20 period out of that descending channel. 50% puts it right at about 316 for target, which also meets right at that angular support from earlier. Actually, that's not the 50%, that's the 33%. Let's see, IWM is out of the upper band in a bullish trend. That's also kind of a miniature rising channel.
Yeah, but it's also been in a descending megaphone and it's at the top of that resistance right now.
Right.
Is that right? Am I accurate on that?
You are accurate.
I'm just checking with the professor.
So,
And yeah, there goes your UVXY is starting to have a little bearish sentiment, a little pullback.
get the center line drawn. We got all the makings of a very, very predictable price pattern structure here.
So is that a bullish sentiment?
So descending megaphones typically are when they're at the bottom of a trend, though. This
Right, okay.
counts as a trend, but then we already came back and retraced half that move, right? So we've got a pivot here. And I haven't been keeping track of IWM as I should have been. 181.60 is going to be about the make it or break it line, so to speak, if it gets out of this descending megaphone pattern here. And let's look a little further left. And we're in range. Known level. We've traded that before.
IQ.
Yep, right to 390. Now we're pennant. So let's see if we push to that $4 mark. It could very well do it.
88%, 89.
I'd like to trade the reversal at the top and scalp that to the downside, but
Heck, this is another indicator.
Mhm.
I mean, for price action, you can look at the options ladder.
yes, sir.
Holy cow! Epiphany.
So what options will tell you is it all leads to a term they use called the expected move. And that's where market makers will find their best opportunity to sell options. So like when you see those skew, and if they're in a position where they need to cover, they instantly cover, and they'll take their profit based on time decay. They've already sold these options. They know what the expected move is going to be. So if it starts to trend or reverse or go against them, they're ready to get out for profit no matter what. It's just a matter of how much profit they're going to get out of. And that's why I like to teach that wheel trade strategy, because it literally teaches you to trade like a market maker. It's kind of a neat thing because you're selling options and relying on time decay and price pivots and stuff like that, price action, to trade in and out of those short options positions. That's why I love that strategy so much, because you can make money even in a bearish market. And even if you're long in a position, you can still make money in a bearish market.
Wow.
Let's see, I'm going to turn this line white because that is a new wolf target. Extend that out. I can grab it. Hey, it worked this time. Let me adjust it. There we go. It's not a full-on wolf on this chart. Though, it's different. It's just a
More
trend
stuff
line.
to learn. I'm still in awe of this epiphany I've had.
That's gonna sit with you and make you lose sleep.
Yeah, it'll make me want to
But-
wait for the market to open.
But in a good way. It'll make you really think about this and crunch it down.
Now, Scott has a theory that that the 92 mark, 92 cent,
Mhm.
is a take profit.
Yeah,
Take your profit at 88 or 98, 92.
that's a good point.
I say that because IQ's battling right there, right now.
Exactly.
Which, if the market makers know that there's a 85% of $4 touch, they know that somebody may they might get some money from somebody if they don't get exactly there.
Right.
Right? Is that how it works?
That's the thing. It just presents a price target just like anything else.
That's the thing about growing up in a state like Louisiana, where we have the best politicians money can buy. When you rub shoulders with these people, you learn a lot of how they think, and then you realize, wow, there's a lot of crooks out there. And then you can say, oh, well, this is how those think, because I've been around these guys.
Right. That's for sure, man.
I am half Italian, by the way. So anyway,
Hey, man, and
New Orleans is the home of the mafia. We are the birthplace of the American mafia.
my part-time day job is in sanitation. I'm in marketing for it, but hey, everybody assumes that sanitation means you have mob ties.
We got a sanitation group down here, and they say our business stinks, but it's picking up.
Nice. No, I'm
I'm looking at this on a 15-minute chart. Also the IQ. Now we have a 91.64% probability of $4.
right.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can
I
use
can't-
that expected
can't
move
wait
to
for it
nail
all to
targets.
click. Sorry.
Well, I'm looking at, just looking at yesterday's price action. I'd like to be able to get in at the right time and trade the downside, but it's got to
That's what I'm thinking.
it's got to push that $4 mark and maybe wick over. Probably 405 is going to be a good, reasonable area to start
but
looking
that-
for a bearish reversal.
But that percentage of 350 now has gone from 50 to 47%.
Right.
And now we're fluctuating between 91 and 92% on that $4. Let me tell you where I got this probability of touch from. I got it from Sig, but
Mhm.
he didn't say anything about it.
No.
This is, I watch the videos, I watch everything. I'll stop him and say, what the hell indicator is that? Because he has TOS and I saw it and it said probability of touch. So that was my goal after I saw that last night was, after I studied price action, I
Right.
reminded myself of my fundamentals and I put it on and dang, if it ain't like accurate. Look, it's 398,
Yep. And look at
94% chance.
where the upper band is. 398.6. Here it goes. Come on, give us a wick to $4 and then reject. That'd be great.
Now I know some people don't, think some of this is exciting. I get excited about wild stuff. I'm excited because it's coming together, and when it all comes together,
No, it's
I'll be really excited because then, we'll all be shooting each other cigars every now and then.
there you go. No, it's cool. Look up something when you get a chance. Look up something called expected move. And then your probability of touch will start to make even more sense.
Yeah, well, the expected move is 0.57 cents plus or minus.
Right.
And I'm not talking about get rich when I talk about cigars. I'm just talking about,
Yeah.
being relaxed and comfortable.
See, the rich don't get rich writing checks, so they don't go out and buy each other cigars all the time. But when you're coming up and you're learning how to make money, basically sitting here looking at your computer and trading stocks, you'll have that hankering and be like, you know what? If I spend on something, I'm gonna be able to afford a cigar that I can buy from my buddy, and pass them around. And that's what we do. We put it back in the economy.
I appreciate everything I've learned in life and everything I've done, but I came up in the video arcade era. I was addicted to these damn games.
Oh yeah, same here.
I stopped playing them.
I'm gonna put a pivot mark right at that $4 bill.
Do you remember Galaga?
Yes, one of my favorites.
I was great at it, and it was pattern recognition. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Just knowing which pattern they were sending at you, where and where you needed to stand. Place your little man to shoot, and you had like several patterns. And after you played it a million times and lost a lot of money, you good at it.
You need to try VR,
What's VR? Is that a game?
virtual reality.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Check this target right here, dude. IWM gonna walk right up to 180.90.
Look at that. Look, and Spy is still just sitting in that zone at the
Yep.
bottom.
It's hanging
Ford's
out.
right below the, or it's below that. It's way below the 15 minute.
See, Spy is kind of trying to cork out a descending channel break here, really.
It's waiting on the clock. 10 o'clock, it's gonna move.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, for the 11 o'clock hour.
So here's a 6-wave attack on angular resistance in this descending channel here. And 7 is usually the count on something like this. Let's look at the angular support now, because this started out trying to be a rounding bottom and then it failed that. I'm going to kind of stripe the line here, so I'm going to shoot it through a couple candles, so don't get mad. Just for wave count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
97%
1, 2, 3, 4,
probability
5,
of touch.
6. This is 7 right here. Okay. So let's look at the center line on that channel. And this is where we're going to look for break. So we want to see SPY come here and test $400, 410, somewhere in that range. And we're going to look for like a tweezer bottom or something. And if we get it and we start blasting a bar right through this angular resistance, we can go bullish. And then we just take our extension out here, our previous trend line. And there's your target, 401.75.
Like that.
And it can break here. This is wave 7 touch right here. So 3, 5, and 7. Always remember that.
3, 5, and 7.
And if you put that into Fibonacci, it makes sense too. But
Yep.
These channels always have a count, and they're always pretty much right in that range, 3, 5, and 7. Most of the channels we trade are 3-wave, but we're not above trading a 5-wave or a 7-wave. All right, here comes that test. Let's see if it gets through the 8-period, tests that center line and bounces. That's what I'm gonna look for. Meantime, come on, IQ, break down.
It's getting weaker,
Yeah,
and it's grinding.
it's threatening. All right, and
And
Target.
and now there's almost, okay, going to IQ, you have that 97, 98% chance of touching, never mind.
yeah, it goes. Gonna touch that $4. Remember when I said 180.90 on IWM? What's that bar
Oh.
do?
180, 90. I got it.
So
Good man.
this is how simple price action can be, guys. I mean, you can really, you get enough screen time seeing this stuff, you can really pick it out anytime. Here comes SPY coming down that center mark. Watch for a tweezer bottom in this mark right here, right at that $400 to $400.10 range. I'm gonna zoom way in on that. While I'm at it, I'm gonna throw something over here real quick.
Not that I'm playing it, but the futures is doing the same thing.
Mhm.
MES.
I'm waiting for Elon to quit teasing people on Twitter so we can get with this takeover. He promised $55 a share to buy it. See if he gets it there again. The thing is, since he refused to see it on their board, he can sit here and buy shares at this reduced discount rate as long as he wants. He only has to report it every 10 days after the initial buy. So if he's taking controlling positions, this news will come out next week. I'd be curious to see the algo flow on Twitter right now. I really would. I don't know if Rock's still with us. I think he took off. Yeah, he did.
Ford is looking similar to SPY, by the way. You may have it up there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do. It's right up here. I swapped them. So SPY used to be over here. Now it's over here.
Yeah, you did. It used to be in the left top corner.
All right, we barred through the center line here, so no go yet. We're gonna wait for the setup. I want to see a tweezer bottom is what I want to see. And I think I'm going to start looking at some Twitter debit spreads right around that 37.45 area once it gets there. Throw some July spreads in the mix here.
That's a whole nother world.
You'll get there. Like I said, cut your teeth on day trading options, scalping them, and then we'll get you to the advanced stuff. It's all time. We grow here. We grow together.
Your IQ, I don't know. It's interesting on that 15-minute chart between yesterday and today.
Uh-huh. Kind of looking same, isn't it?
Is that a bullish look?
I mean, it could just pull back, continue in this trend and start smoking that $4 pivot, but you know that usually those bars that touch the upper band on the daily chart are not necessarily appreciated
Oh, we
Usually-
went, SPY went back down to the 399 area, low of 399.86. It hasn't finished going down.
Yeah, we didn't get our tweezer bottom here, but
It
let
was
me
1105.
let me adjust that center line a little bit. This is end pattern, so we're gonna go to the touch the lower zone. 399.50 is a new target, so we'll see if we get a reversal there instead of at the center line. But yeah, IQ is just it's one I've been watching. I've been wanting to trade same week expiration to see if it's worth doing. Like I said, ordinarily I've been doing month out, and typically spreads with it, but for now I want to see if it's going to be a viable swing for intraday options trades or even option scalps similar to Ford. Doesn't quite have the liquidity in the options chain that Ford has though, so kind of bear with me on that. But
Which one's that?
for IQ,
Okay, sorry.
oh no worries.
You get to doing so many different things.
Yeah. Twitter is an odd duck. I want to see what that does next. Oh. And by the way, I might finally be able to close my Coke put debit spreads here. Let me see here. Alerts, spreads, KO vertical 617, 55.50s. It's not much, but I'm going to close them at 16 cents here. Done. Wow, I didn't make my target, but that's close enough. Let me get that in the alert channel real quick. All right, IQ, you rounding over? I like it. So those 350 puts might give us a quick scalp.
And they have the highest percentage.
And bear with me, I'm going to try and get this alert out. Whoops, no, I didn't want to do that.
$4 still has a high probability.
Oh, I hate when it does that. It's weird when I go to put the alerts up, it works better with my phone than it does with my computer.
Oh, down to 399.28. Below the zone I had just drawn.
So we still got that angle of support right here, and there's a pivot right there. So I mean, we could have made the bearish trade here off that rejection, but that was wave 7. Typically those will break out bullish by then, but getting into another wave, this could very easily just go bearish. All right, alerts. Yeah, we're gonna edit that. There we go.
399.54 is the base of a big bar from 516 a few days ago.
Closed.
398, I mean.
Close my position. And
Okay, well.
0.16.
That
There we go.
IWM pattern I thought was bullish failed.
Yeah, let me go back to that.
Yeah, UVXY and VIX now have very bullish sentiment. And
So-
now IWM looks bearish as well as some things.
Did have that descending megaphone pattern. It came up, met that target, that 180.90. Easy little bullish move. I should have flipped it and went bearish there. I was too distracted, but at any point came through, literally barred right through the center line right after a little pause doji. And then this trend is good all the way down to the pivot here at 379.50.
Excuse me.
Sure. And Ford, I think, will nail that 1304 target. It's already wicked 1305. So, and here comes SPY down the last touch of support. If it breaks this, we got lots of downside ahead. There's another gap to pay attention to here. So if we get down through and we can target the control zone of 396 from here where it's at now. If we get below that, there's a gap down to 390, 350 here. And possibly a resume of trend down as low as 392. Definitely some bearish sentiment in the market today. So, oh, there it goes. It's already failing that angular support. Bye-bye. And here's IWM right down to that 379.50. If it don't hold support here, IWM, same deal. We got a gap from here right to 177.50. And if you look at the Friday options chain on that, that can actually give you a real quick scalp, high percentage return. Just got to ride the momentum. IQ broke over. These 350 puts are pretty sweet. Double check the progress on that. Getting towards the end of my stream, I'll just keep it on YouTube for the whole duration. Why not? Got some people in there checking us out, so that's all we could ask for anyway. Let's see, IQ 350 puts, they're only worth, well, they'll trade at 7 cents now, but the entry at 6 cents was decent. Target would probably be to sell those at 10 cents. So not a huge percentage gain, but not one that you would ignore either. And that's looking at 520 expiration, 350 puts. Okay, this is that boring time of day. Apologize for the bouts of silence in our stream here. Typically, this is when I'm getting ready to sign off at about 11:30 anyway, and I'll say goodbye for like 15, 20 minutes and actually sign out
least.
at like 11:50. Pretty typical MO for me. That's how I roll. IWM right there in that support. I have the pivot set at 179.52, but it's supposed to be 179.50. I just couldn't get it to the penny, but you know, we're playing with hand grenades here. We just have to be close.
Yeah.
And if that follows any kind of sentiment of what SPY's doing, it'll either make it or break it right here. But I did point out that IWM also has an area of control. If it breaks this this 179.50 area, there's a gap all the way down to 177.50. And a $2 at the money options move on IWM is quite fruitful, let me tell you.
$2 at the option move.
So like if we would have traded that break, that rejection off that megaphone angular resistance here, let's see, we would probably got into 179 puts. Entry would be probably about 35, 36 cents. Now those are worth 73 cents. That's almost 100% return. That's the kind of thing where like if you once you get the hang of day trading options, dude, that's what is possible. That's what's
Hey,
on.
Yeah. You
That's-
said IWM?
Yep.
I was sitting over here looking at SPY and just checking out the charts, trying to see where it's gonna do, what it might do, what it could do, if then this, then that.
Right. And see what's cool about scalping options on IWM is even at the money, it's relatively inexpensive to trade. So like I said, getting into that
Yes.
that 179 put, a good entry, its low was 33 cents, but a good entry would be 34 to 36 cents. And still closing that now at 74 cents, that's 100% return. Bam.
Right. So IWM's pretty decent to get into.
Yep. So if you find a pattern that holds true and gives you the trade setup, IWM is some great day trading for options.
I'm gonna keep watching it then, because it's, I got my little probability touch thing.
There you go. It sounds dirty.
It's terrible. There goes the VIX and UVXY.
Nice. Spy's looking
bullish
like it's
sentiment.
gonna break down here. So there's that gap below, guys.
Yeah.
This IWM move, if you got into that, I mean, you could turn that into a 200% move. Don't get
Yeah,
greedy,
Yeah,
but know that it's possible.
You would- buying a put on IWM is what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, if we would have bought it on this rejection up here, that
If you'd have
180,
bought it up there, yeah,
that 180.90,
yeah.
that was plain as day for a target.
There goes the other guys, and there
Yeah.
goes our guys.
Goodbye, IWM. So this
Sold almost $13. Who was that said that today? Was that Jeremy guy?
I don't know, maybe. I love being a bear sometimes. I really do. I mean, it's
Well, I'm not trading. I haven't traded anything today. Looked choppy to me, and plus I'm still a little shocked from my stupidity yesterday. And I'm just getting back to basics, and the price action it's all those fundamentals I've learned in here, they're accurate.
that's it. That's why we put them out there.
I
So
just have to make sure to look at the big picture and the trees at the same time.
the expected pause candle on IWM, by the way, is just going to be an extension of this angular support from that megaphone pattern. And that's going to touch probably right here at 179. And looking left,
Yep, 90% probability.
that 179 is right there, the base of this control candle right here.
Man, you'd have done good if you'd have bought that 179.
Mhm. And if it breaks 179, that gap to 177.50 is just easy to see. It's right freaking there. This can be a 200% move out of that option. So from up here. That's what's on the horizon once you guys learn to trade price action. This is where you're going. And that's where you start to really understand how to make money trading, how to make real money trading. That's where you change from working a day job to working a part-time day job, like yours truly. So
You said 177.
the 177 is a target if it breaks down below this 179. 179,
70.
177.50. And
Okay.
this angular support from this extension off this descending megaphone pattern here is the key pivot to break. That's right at that 179 where it just went right now.
So you wouldn't purchase like a 178 or anything like that. That wouldn't be good to do. Like a 178 put.
I mean, you could do it now if this continues to break through this angular support, you could certainly take that trade.
Give you an entry if it gave you an entry somewhere, right?
Right. But know this, that's not a great place to buy because there is angular support here.
Okay, right. I'm just curious about that. Wasn't looking at the chart.
Right.
That's what I did do yesterday.
Oh, And that's today expiration, not that's 0-day trade. That's not
Oh,
a
this is 0-day trade.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
My bad.
Which means you should have already, this is it.
Right.
11:30's it.
That's it.
Because you
So
don't want to do 0-day trades in the afternoon, do you?
right. You don't want to do it because it'll
Okay.
fade fast on you. But if you would have got in
Unless
on
you're
that,
selling.
yeah, unless you're selling, then you can sell credit spreads. That's the other thing you can do. And that's
Oh, great. But you can't do like buy a put in the afternoon.
you can, you just wouldn't want to.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. You don't want to, right? Unless you're doing a spread, right?
Right. And still in that probability of touch, is that on TOS?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if there's can you link the code in the chat?
Oh, it's not a code. It's I don't.
Oh, it's just
I
an
don't think
indicator.
it's-
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the ladder.
So I don't TOS, so I don't know these things.
Some people don't TOS. I know we will in TOS.
There you go. So that 179 put with the 36-cent entry is now pushing 91 cents. I mean, that's almost 300% up from the entry, by the way. Not 200% return on the entry. So anyway, let me see what else was Larry asking here. There's a probability of the option still mentions in that TOS. Seeing double today. Yeah. You can literally put these charts right next to each other and they're very similar, but Ford had that diamond pattern break too. So, and look how easy that structure was to lay out. I mean, that's trading magic right there, guys. I mean, you guys watch me live laying these lines out, and look, price respected every stinking one of them.
Yes, it did.
That's how easy the structure is on Ford. Even though it was choppy, we knew where to look for the break, and there it was right here, the rejection of 1330. Down she went.
Yeah, I can't get a screenshot of that yet, so I'll figure it out.
If you're on a Windows machine, just hit the Windows key,
Yeah.
Shift and S, and then highlight the area you want to screenshot with your
Thanks.
mouse. All right, Sue, we're smoking that 179. See ya. Come on, print another bar next to it in an N pattern. That would be glorious. I'm gonna zoom in on that. That's exciting now. That 179 put's going right for $1 now. Still riding. Not gonna lie, I got in at 38.
Good man. Well, I was doing too much. I'm trying to it's going to be it's going to be a 0-day for me.
And that's okay. I mean, it's a good learning
Unless I get
opportunity.
something in the after hours on little shares or something.
And my entry point wasn't the 180.90 rejection here. It was the break below the 8-period here. So I got in a little later than I could have, but I'm okay with that. That trend is beautiful.
Well, the beauty about options on these indexes and so forth is that you can, you don't have to wait for the morning to research them like you do penny stocks. You got to wait really to the morning time because the damn thing's gone flat. You can
Right.
get price targets on this, all night long.
That's it. Yeah, with futures, you can trade this all you want. And that's the thing I'm getting at. So like nobody does an evening futures stream. So I might tap into that market and start doing that. I'd love to do like the MES from like between 7 and 9 would be awesome because the patterns are very similar to what we're seeing in price action throughout the day here when the market's open, and they're just as predictable. On top of that, they move slow enough to where you can actually learn from what you're doing. So I'm going to look into starting that up and getting an afternoon or evening stream going with the MES and stuff, or the micros at least.
That'd be awesome.
Hoping to get to be able to do that, to make that happen so that I can appease the family and actually spend time with my family. It'll require me to leave my part-time day job, which I'm okay with. So that might be on the horizon pretty soon here, just to kind of say it without giving my employer notice at the moment, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah. You ever happen to wake up in the middle of the night and just check that kill zone?
Yeah, I do that once in a while. I'll wake up at like midnight, or most of the time I'm up till midnight anyway. But I'll doze off and I'll be like, and I'll flash open the features chart. And, damn, it made exactly the move I thought it would. Freaking nuts.
Paper traded it at night, fell asleep and made some killer money.
Nice. Good deal, man. Okay, what are we seeing here? IQ right to the pivot. That's about take profit zone. Let me check on that option. What was it? 350. Sorry. Lost track. I don't think that option made much anyway. Yeah, it's tradable at 8 cents. So 6 cent to 8 cent, $2 on an option contract. And if you bought like 30 or 40 of them, it's worth your time. But that's the end of that move. This IWM, I'm gonna cash it in right now. Actually, I'll sell it at 108. Done. Ooh, right before it dropped. Sweet. There it was. Very nice trade. What's next? So SPY can certainly continue down, reaching those extensions and filling that gap. So I'm gonna sign off soon here. So
Real quick question.
yeah,
Because I know you're a bear,
I love being a bear.
but now if IWM starts turning bullish here, but at this time of day, it's questionable.
Right.
If you were a bull, would you go and buy some of those calls?
0 days? No.
No, not on the 0 day. Okay.
I'd look for Friday expiration. But it's still got that high probability of extending right down here to 177.50. If it bounced there, I've maybe considered writing calls into the close. But midday, I'm not going to touch anything there. There's no point.
Okay. That's what I'm asking.
So the weird thing is, like during the middle of the day, you see all that accumulation, and we've seen it time and time again on penny stocks where like I'll call out levels in the morning. It'll
Yeah.
accumulate all stinking day sideways, and then it'll nail those levels right into the close.
Yep.
I mean, how many times has that happened in our stream
Wow.
here?
Wow.
And I know those levels are there, but like I'm not going to get into them in the middle of the day, especially if I'm working in an afternoon part-time job. I'm not going to have time to watch the charts on it. But then I go and take a quick break while I'm working and look at those levels and like, wow, it nailed it. Every stinking one of those targets, like clockwork. If I'm wheel trading, those are great, but I'm not gonna try and not watch a trade that I have on through the middle of the day. This accumulation, and if you're day trading options, that whole sideways accumulation that tends to happen in the middle of the day is going to eat your options value. Even if you're with the move, it's still going to screw you.
Right.
So in that instance, if you're looking at like Friday expiration or something like that, cool. On a Wednesday, that's fine. Don't do 0 days after the afternoon unless you're selling credit spreads. But the point is, you can wait for power hour, and if you time it right, between actually lately it's been power 2 hours, so like 2 o'clock things start to turn. If you see the setup break at about 2 o'clock and you think you can trade a trend up until 4 o'clock when the market closes, go for it. That's going to be easy to spot from the morning's extended range, and then you're going to see the midday accumulation, and then the end of day is going to be the break. So yeah, you can certainly make end of day trades based on what you see from the price action in the morning and all the levels that we've marked out. So
but I'm going to go back to the 0 days, but you got to be real careful on 0 days.
real careful on 0 days, because
Right.
even if
You
the
could
delta's
wind
high,
up getting assigned, right?
well, not just that, like if you're looking at like time decay towards the last few minutes of the market, you could be like a couple pennies out of the money, and you could have gotten in to like a 50 cent or even $1 move and still have no profit in it, because the time
Right.
decay just accelerates towards the end of the day. So
I appreciate that. I know you got to go. Thank you so much.
I've got a couple more minutes. It is 11:30, and this is usually the time where I start to say goodbye over and over again until I go. But I like to
Listen.
I like to get the lesson out. So like the recap of the day, and this is where everything that we have seen happen in the day becomes a teachable moment. So typical descending channel breaks on something like SPY, especially, even though we had this setup form in the pre-market, usually these would break bullish, and this one didn't. Once it broke that angular support line, even though it was a descending channel, that's a gunner. So where do we figure out targets? Look at the move. So you look at the pre-market high, pre-market low, that's your range. That's your expected or measured move. You look at the pattern break, it broke, your measured move is going to equal that. So then your key support's going to be down here at like 396 currently on SPY. Then you look left, we've already broken key levels anyway. 396 is going to be a low range here. Close enough, 397, 396. Potato, potato. Got a low over here, 396. It lines up right with that pivot. Below that, there's a gap here. So if we do get away and get down below 396, we can certainly target down here at 391, 392. So if this trend continues, the measured move's already been made. This would be an extension. So if it starts to extend down below those levels, God dang it, stop moving pivots. Trying to drag my chart over. The extension is going to be, if it breaks 396, it's going to come close to 392. I can almost see that with certainty. But if you do get a bounce here, expect it to bounce and accumulate around this 396 level. This is the middle of the day. It's likely to do that. So either A, you'll get a bounce and retrace 50% of the measured move back to the bullish side, or I'm getting tired of having all these lines on it because it's making it hard to drag my chart around without grabbing one. So we got the measured move that's already happened. We can either A, accumulate sideways and have a reversal pattern around this 396 level and break bullish to retrace probably back to 400. That's got a pretty good probability. Or we can continue finishing out that extension down to 391, 392. And if we get even more momentum through that, got some extreme situation where it might even hit as low as 380, 450. I don't think it'll do that today, but it's not off the table. So it's simple as looking left to find your levels, figure out where they're at, and then you just look for the price action in the setup. Trade the break. I gotta go adjust all those pivots later. What I might do is just clear them all off and start over. It's time. That chart's so cluttered. This IQ here, we came down, closed profit on this level, but we could extend this right down to 375. Where is that put at right now? I need to look at it. Yay, that 350 put made it to 10 cents. So 6-cent entry, 10-cent exit. That's pretty good. 4-cent return.
IWM closed the gap from the pre-market yesterday morning. There was a gap on a 1 hour from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. There was this little gap from 160, looks like about 178.65 to about 178, 179. And that's the gap. And it's at the base of that candle. That was the 3 a.m. candle.
3 a.m. candle from yesterday?
From yesterday morning's pre-market on a 1 hour IWM.
Huh.
Look at 3 a.m., the 4 a.m. candle, and look at that gap. And that's what it came down and filled. And now it's at the base of that candle.
I have it at 8 o'clock and 5 o'clock.
You don't have 3?
On the 1 hour chart. From 517.
517. Mine says 3 a.m.
Weird. Yeah, I've got 8 p.m. and then opening at
4
5
a.m.
a.m.
Oh, no, we're gonna have to
So
show you this.
TOS has candles that I don't see on, and this is Webull.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, so there's a gap there, and it's filled that gap.
right? It's come right down to that 177.50 area. That's where I had that pivot mark for the red line. Well, Hasn't touched that yet. It's sitting here at 178.50. So if you're seeing different 1 hour candles, one of these two apps is glitching. I'd put
Right.
I've seen TOS glitch more often than I've seen Webull glitch, but it's not unknown. It does happen. Holy crap, we got chat in here. Just realizing that. My bad. Hey Larry, thanks for hanging with us, man. We'll see ya.
Thanks, Larry.
And we got another thing. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's some nasty chat in there. I don't want to see that.
Oh, I don't, pay attention on
It
it.
just says
these days.
top chat. I wonder if that's live chat. Hey,
And it's also
Yeah.
wicked right into that 90-degree bend in the VWAP.
people being inappropriate on YouTube. Imagine that. But yeah, we could get continuation into the rest of that gap.
Yeah, it was just something I noticed on my chart. I said, wow, it's going right down to fill that gap, because gaps are important.
They all want to be filled. It's kind of like a magnet zone, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So the extension off this angular support from that descending megaphone pattern that we traded here broke through. All right. Now we've basically set up a bullish engulfing at the bottom here, down here, 178.20. And we're coming up and testing that resistance again. So we just extend that along. You can watch this price action. If it breaks back above this angular resistance, we can expect it to have a pause up here at 179, possibly an extension up here to 179.50. That can happen too on a reversal. That's about the expected move if it does this in an accumulation pattern through the middle of the day, which is very possible. It can do that. Or it can reject this angular resistance and continue closing that gap. It'll probably be the same deal on SPY. You can almost smell it. But yeah, IWM could be one more good trade for the day. But like I said, it's better to wait for the accumulation through the middle of the day and then trade the closing hour and go with like Friday expiration. It'll be a little more expensive, but it'll be a little bit more worth your time and worth your effort.
And on SPY, would you do the Friday expiration as well?
I think so.
If you were going to do something, if it started moving bullish,
Yeah, I would totally
that'd be
do
the
that.
May 20th.
Yep.
That's the cool thing about SPY. It's got those 3 expiration days, don't it?
Exactly.
Doesn't it?
Got the interweekly or weeklies and mid-weeklies. And that's a later goal. So like if you grow your account to be sizable enough to wheel trade SPY, you can sit there and trade like a market maker, dude. And like with something like SPY, I mean, it wouldn't take a massive investment amount. I mean, you could do this in your IRA and sell options on it. So it's just kind of the thing. Like if you're getting into learning this price action and you're wanting to go into those advanced options trades and you start to learn how to wheel trade, get lots of practice, and then you start going for these large caps, and SPY is great. It's a money maker. That's why it has those 3 times a week expirations. And you can be a seller of those just the same. You can trade on price action. You sell puts at the low, sell calls at the high, and just rinse repeat, just like you would wheel trade, like I was showing you with that sub-dollar stock, CEI. Same strategy, bigger number. There we go. Break that angular resistance. Sweet. Extension target 179 for IWM on that reversal. I did see that option peak at like 120. I don't care. I'm happy to take my profit at 108.
Got it at 35.
At 36, but yeah. Quite the swing.
Yeah, I know. So you got in at when it was at that peak right before the fall.
Right. So I know it was going to reject that 180.90, and it did. I waited for the break instead of the setup. I knew the setup was there. I waited for the break under that 8 period, and I got in at the base of this candle here, this 1102 candle.
And you knew it was going to break that 11 or that 180.90 because you looked left.
Yep. And there was an extension line that was already there.
And that was the trend lines.
That was based on, where did that extension line go? There.
I'm just curious. I want to learn. Inquiring minds
It
wanna
was
know.
essentially out of this base. So this is not a wolf target line. I set these up 10. I typically will make these a wolf target when I paint them white and make them bold like that. This was not. This was just a trend line. It was off the base of a lower channel touch. It was just an extension riding back to this base pivot. And it broke over here, so I knew it broke support. I could have made that a 3-banded channel, but it didn't need to be.
Okay, that's awesome. So you knew that was going to be the rejection point. And I see that happen, and I see it, and again, with the fundamentals of price action that I've learned.
It's so
I can
weird.
see that. I just wanted to see how you did that.
It's so weird because I didn't set it up that way. It's skewed in the 1-minute chart. See how it's there in the 1-minute chart, and then
Yeah.
it's there in a 5-minute chart. It totally skewed, but it worked out because it was a smooth rejection right off that sucker. And I haven't figured out that glitch on Weeble yet, but it's right there. I wonder if you draw the same line on TOS, if it would skew like that when you go down to the 1-minute chart.
I don't know. I've noticed some things on Webull. I noticed a couple of times that we've had different size candles or different things happen, or you had a wick and we didn't have a wick,
Right.
like a big one, like one of those big lightning rod wicks.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that a couple of times, but other than that, I mean, it's working for you.
Yeah, it does the job.
You're getting stuff done.
Exactly. I don't know how the heck it does that skew when you go down to the 1-minute chart, but it's weird because it's there and price action respects it. Like, I mean, look how clean this is. Rejection there, break here, rejection here, test here, fail. It's amazing. And that line is old. I set that up a while back.
Okay, Jeremy, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna
I
sign
got a
off.
lot
So
of information in my head.
there's a lot to go over. This is gonna
And I
be a
haven't
great
traded
recording.
anything today, and I'm just probably not gonna. Maybe we'll see.
And that's if you're watching on YouTube with us, that's another thing we do with our community here. When we have our live streams on our Zoom channel, they're recorded, so you can go back and watch them again and again and again. So if you missed something that I was explaining, you can go back and watch it again. And that goes for all of our streamers. We have a few other moderators in here, and they all have their different specialties. But this is what I do, and I'm just one of them. At some point, either starting next week or maybe even into the close of this week, we might have one of our other monitors break out into the YouTube channel and give you guys a taste of what we do. And this is simply just getting out there and showing the world what we're made of. So this will be recorded on YouTube, and if you want to come back and visit it, it'll be there. Share it with your friends, smash a like button, whatever you got to do. Subscribe. Not a problem, but just know what we do. And if you like what we do and you want to tell your friends, go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
Appreciate it, Jeremy. I got to run. That coffee's calling.
Yeah, man. Go get that
Great.
coffee
See you,
before it's
Stone.
cold. See you, man.
I'll take everybody.
You too, man. So yeah, I'm gonna pretty much call it a day now. I got to get out there, eat some lunch, and get ready for work. Might be able to take a walk around the block with the wife real quick while I eat lunch. Maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Family time's important. Got to squeeze it in when I can. My schedule's busy. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. We will do this again. Gonna be great.
Cool, man. Thanks, Jeremy.
Anytime. See if I can get this to end both the YouTube and the Zoom feed. I don't know if it will.